Hey everyone, I'm back with another video, and I know on this channel I talk a lot about leaving stress and burnout behind, prioritizing yourself, but I have not really gone into how you're even able to identify when you're experiencing stress and burnout. So I thought today I'd share my experience, and maybe that will resonate with you and help you understand how you can start to identify when you're experiencing stress and burnout. So my name is Lauren, and this is my channel, 5-Star Lore. Stick around for the video, and I hope you enjoy it. So my experience. I graduated with my master's in social work about 3 years ago, and then shortly after, maybe like a couple months later, I started my first job in my career field. And as you can expect, I was excited. New environment, new experiences, learning, and just all of the newness, right? So I was green, meaning I was going in like, oh, I'm about to not make changes, but I'm about to go in and have these experiences and contribute positively to other people's lives. Like, I was just very naive and green. So I very quickly realized that it was not going to be the long-term situation for me. Like, I was not about to be at this job long term. And that was shocking for me to even understand and comprehend, because I initially was like, all right, I'm gonna stay here for 2 years, get all my hours and stuff that I needed that was necessary for me to be able to take the next licensure exam and then be out. But I couldn't even make it to half a year. So I was like, yeah, like this is not going to work. And I realized very quickly that I was in a system that historically oppresses and undervalues not only patients that look like me, but also employee and staff that look like me. So just very quickly picking up on the differential treatment between staff that look like me, so Black people, and then people that were not Black. So recognizing that very early on, that was like, no, like I can't ride with this. And then I was realizing that like I was putting a lot of the responsibility that shouldn't have been mine on my shoulders, which Black women, we are doing this all the time. We're taking on the responsibility of caring for other people. We're taking the responsibility of speaking up for other people. And I caught myself doing that a lot. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I taking on the burden of doing this? Like, this is harming me. This is making me tired. Like, it's making me emotional. And I had to realize that like this wasn't it. Like, I can't keep doing this. And you know, when you speak up in workplaces, a lot of the times you're met with blank stares, people acting like what you're saying doesn't make any sense. So blank stares, oh, we'll do better. Oh, how can we support you? Oh, we didn't know that you were feeling this way. And it's just like, how can you not? Like, but it's easy because people don't have to have those experiences. So it's easy for them to not know that this is what you're going through. But for me, I'm like, yeah, like this can't be it. Like, this can't be for me. So I was realizing that like, yeah, this is not going to be the long-term situation. And what really did it for me, multiple things, but I will say that I was able to identify like the stress and burnout because I was not even like stressed and burnt out from clients. Like, I'm stressed and burnt out from the just environment of the job. So that was like alarming for me, because it's like I was doing pretty heavy work. And to not be like stressed from the clients, but just from like having to go into the office and like actually interact with people, yeah, like that's a problem. Like that shouldn't be the case. And I recognized like after I had left, like maybe months later, probably even a year later, that like my body was responding to this stressful environment and to warning me, I would say, in a sense, about like the being on the verge of like burning out and being stressed out. So for instance, like my eye would twitch, like my eyes would be twitching all of the time. Like, I feel like sometimes your body will tell you like what's going on. So like my eye would twitch and I'm like, maybe I'm not getting enough sleep. I was getting eye sleep, but my eye just kept twitching and I was like, I don't know what is going on. And then this is the major one, is I don't have asthma. I don't have any difficulty breathing, but I always felt like I was not getting enough air into my chest. So I would do these deep breathing exercises and I would like try to get more air into my chest, which I was like, why is this happening? Like, I don't have asthma. I don't have a history of having it. Why do I feel like I cannot breathe properly right now? And, fast forward months later, maybe a year later, I'm like, oh, that was definitely a bodily response to the environment that I was in, because of course it stopped after I was out of that environment and I was able to decompress and all of that stuff. But just the anxiety of it all, that's what it was. It was like anxiety and feeling like I could not breathe. Like my body felt like it couldn't breathe in that situation. And that's very scary, especially when, as I've said, I have not had those prior symptoms and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So that was my experience. Just like, not great, not good. My body letting me know, my emotions letting me know, like, why am I crying at work? Why? I'm an emotional person anyway, but why am I crying at work? Because things are not being met. Employees are not being taken care of or heard. Like, this should not be happening at a place of employment. So I mentally like erased a lot of stuff that happened. So I wouldn't share specific details anyway, but like a lot of it, I kind of like tossed it out of my mind, which is good for me because I don't want to constantly be thinking about it. But that just goes to show you that like I don't even want to mention like specific details because that probably will trigger something. So that's a little bit about my experience in an environment that was contributing to stress and burnout. How do we usually react to this as Black women? Like, how are we reacting to the stress and the burnout that's happening that we might not even realize is going on? What I realized with me is that I was ignoring for a couple of months, like I was ignoring like my bodily responses to the environment that I was in. And I think that it's so normal for us to just like ignore what's happening, or when we do speak up, nothing really takes place, nothing changes. So we just keep going at the way that we are already going and doing things, which is problematic in itself. But yeah, we like ignore like our bodily responses. Once I realized that I wasn't going to be there for long, it took me at least a month to even build up the courage to be able to give my 2 weeks notice, because I was thinking about everybody else. I was still like, okay, how can I make sure my clients are all set before I give my 2 weeks notice? And then when I did give my 2 weeks notice, I gave a whole month. Like I stayed 2 weeks extra because I was like, I want to make sure my clients are all set. And this is the problem. This is how we usually react to the stress and burnout in our lives. We don't immediately put an end to it or try to put an end to it. We try to figure out how we can maybe manage the stress and burnout, but still prioritize like making sure everybody else is all set, despite what that means for us. And I did that. Like, I'm guilty of that. Looking back, the me now, I wouldn't do that again. But, like I was just like, okay, I'm experiencing this, but I don't want my clients to have to suffer from me leaving and going and not staying at this position or whatever. And once again, who does that benefit? Nobody. What happens next? Like, what can we do? How can you identify when you're actually going through stress and burnout? I would say the main thing is to listen to your gut. If something does not feel right, and if you start to feel that like this might not be the place, then the chances are that before you even get to the stress and burnout, you need to listen to that. And if you're already in a position or an environment where you think you're like starting to experience like something abnormal, then listen to that as well. Definitely listen to your body. Like, your body will tell you when something is not right. Your body will tell you when you need to address something. Like, don't ignore that. Like, there's a reason why this is happening with your body. There's a reason why my eyes twitching. There's a reason why I feel like I'm not getting enough air into my chest. So I think that recognizing what changes are taking place in your body is how you can really start to identify if you're experiencing stress and burnout in your life. If you know that you are in a toxic work environment, or if you have a toxic job, then definitely checking out some resources that will help you start to address that. I mentioned in my previous video the Job Liberation Summit that is taking place. And that is strictly focusing on Black women being liberated from their toxic job environments or toxic work environment, however you want to word it. And it is a summit that is going to help you free yourself from this environment and learn the strategies that you need to be able to exit and be able to either land another position or start your own business if that's something that interests you. But there are resources out there that will help you that are going to help you to be able to address these problems in your life. And I will definitely link the information below in the description box, and you can check it out and see if that's something that you would be interested in. Also, we'll be launching coaching this spring that is going to focus on freeing you and releasing you from stress and burnout in your lives and prioritizing yourself and your well-being. And this will be a 6-month program with other Black women that are on the same journey. So if that's something you're interested in, you can find out more information for that link down below. And that will just be an amazing experience as well for you to be able to prioritize yourself and put yourself first and be able to manage the stress and burnout that is taking place in your life, because it's hard to be able to do it alone, but you don't have to. You can do it with someone else and with a group of people. So that will be linked down below as well. And that's all I have for this video. I hope it resonated, and I hope it helped you to identify whether you are experiencing stress or burnout in your life. If you liked it, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.